Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. What if I told you that the world's two largest democracies, India and United States of America, are quietly walking a tightrope, and one misstep could shatter not just a trade deal but the entire Indo-Pacific balance? From 25% tariffs and sanctions to secret oil tankers and digital warfare, this is not just about the economics. This is about power, this is about pressure, and a silent battle unfolding behind the closed doors. Donald Trump has written with a vengeance, and he's not just he's not just targeting China anymore. This time, India. Yes, it's India. America's strategic partner, technological ally, and key player in Global South. As you can see here the headlines, beyond tariffs, President Trump's targeting of India can harm the bilateral ties also. So, why is he targeting? Why is Trump threatening a 200% tariff on India's pharma industry? Why is India being punished more harshly than even rivals like China or Pakistan? And how does a cheap Russian oil, which is around $10 billion price tag, and the future of India-Middle East economic corridor, as you can see here, India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor, all connect in this geopolitical web. So stay with me till the end of this video, because this story is not just about trade. It is about trust, technology, and the global chessboard of 2025. And trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming next. What's going on between India and United States of America? So, we need to understand that this news is going to explain the rising tensions between India as well as United States of America, especially under President Donald Trump's trade policies. Now, first, what Trump has done. तो अभी क्या हुआ recently? On 1st of August, a 90-day trade negotiation deadline was ended. And after that, President Trump imposed new tariffs, that means extra taxes on imports, on over 90 countries, including India. So let's try to understand the perspective. So for India, 25% of tariff was imposed. For India, this 25% tariff imposed. Now, so 25% tariff was imposed. Now, Trump also threatened these sanctions. Sanctions are like punishment because of India's strong ties with Russia. And he also threatened 200% of tariffs, 200% tariffs on India's pharmaceutical industry, which is very important to India. Now what did US do? We need to understand this. So now try to understand that what did US do? So Trump ने अब इस पर क्या कहा? So let's try to understand. Now Trump has said that $45 billion trade deficit with India in 2024, which means US is buying more from India than it sells. And the trade deficit is around $45 billion. Okay, $45 billion. Okay. So he believes that India's policies like Make in India, make it hard for the United States of America companies to do business in India. And he was actually unhappy with India's agricultural trade barriers. Okay. Now, after this, But US and India, they are big trade partners. Okay. So in 2024, if you see, India and US total trade was around $132 billion. And both the sides, that is India and US, their aim is to increase this trade up to $500 billion by 2030. So India's exports to the US are only 2% of all the United States imports. So India is not a huge source of goods for the America. Okay. So अब यहां से आ जाता है रशिया का कनेक्शन. So try to understand the connection with Russia, है ना? So the Russia connection. Now when you see India and Russia relations, the trade relations, India buys 35% of its oil from Russia. And it is the biggest importer, India is the biggest importer of Russian oil after China. And Russia is also a major arms supplier to India. And because of this, India is being targeted by the United States of America, and which is actually trying to put more pressure on Russia over the Ukraine war. But here is the twist. Now you'll see the twist. If India stops buying the cheap Russian oil, it could cost India an extra $10 billion per year. And India never supported Western sanctions on Russia. So in this scenario, the US and Europe, even they bought refined Russian oil from India. Even they also bought refined Russian oil from India, which actually showing a double standard. That this is double standard. These measures are taken by these Western countries. Okay. Now, the defense ties with Russia are already shrinking. Now, as you can see here, defense ties with Russia are already shrinking. Now, try to understand. In 2010 to 2014, Russia supplied around 72% of India's arms. Russia used to supply 72% of India's arms and ammunition. But by 2020 to 2024, this dropped to 36%. That means India is now modernizing its military and relying less on Russia on the other hand. Okay. Now, if we compare the tariff with other Asian countries, so let's try to understand tariff comparison with other Asian countries. Now here, India feels unfairly treated. कि हमें unfairly treat किया जा रहा है. Why? Because if you see, Japan has $70 billion US trade deficit but got only 15% tariffs. So Japan has $70 billion US trade deficit but got only 15% tariffs. South Korea, again, only 15% tariffs from the side of US. Indonesia, tariff reduced from 32% to 19%. See this? Indonesia, 32 to 19%. Vietnam, 20% tariff. Pakistan, 19% tariff. So India, 25% tariff. It seems higher than the others. Then what about special partnership, strategic partnership? Now what is happening with China? What is happening with China? United States of America is still negotiating tariffs with China, and now the new decisions are expected by 12th of August 2025, है ना? अभी 3-4 दिन के बाद हमें पता चल जाएगा. So US is still negotiating tariffs with China with decisions expected by 12 August. And if US removes tariffs on China but keeps them on India, then it could hurt US-India relations. It could also weaken Indo-Pacific stability. It will push India away from the United States of America. Now, what should be the way forward? What should India do now? So this we need to understand. It is a kind of way forward. What should India do now? Now try to understand. despite the trouble, okay, despite the trouble, there is a chance for India to shift focus from trade in goods to technological cooperation with United States of America. Then India should also join digital and tech supply chains globally. India should sign a free trade agreement with other countries to strengthen India's image, which can boost India Middle East economic corridor. Okay, it can help India to counter Chinese influence in the global south as well. So overall, we can see here that India and US, they are at a turning point, and if both sides manage their differences wisely, they can deepen their strategic partnership and shape the future of Indo-Pacific as well as global geopolitics. So overall, we can see that what we are witnessing is not just a trade dispute. It is actually a tectonic shift in how power, partnership and priorities are being redefined in the 21st century. So India stands at a crossroad. One road leads to a fragile friendship fractured by tariffs and as well as mistrusts. The other road leads to a renewed strategic alliance driven by technology, connectivity as well as global influence. So the stakes are massive, from $500 billion of trade target to the fate of the global south, from India Middle East economic corridor future to India's leadership role in shaping the multipolar world. But the question is, will the United States of America recognize India as a technological superpower and a stabilizer in Asia, or treat it as just another target in a trade war? And will India rise above transactional politics or not and claim its rightful place in the global supply chains as well as strategic platforms? So we are actually living in a moment where the decisions made in the boardrooms and the war rooms, and it will shape the future of international relations for decades. So if you found this video eye-opening, then share it with your friends, comment your thoughts and hit that subscribe button on your screen, because the new world order is being written now and we are here to decode it one move at a time. Thank you so much.